We'll
In the
see.
words of Duncan Fisher, what the hell is that? They have a UCL.
Oh god.
Oh no.
No, it is not. It looks like the poke variant with 2 light gas. They also have 1, 2, 3 awesomes, possibly also light gas. Yeah, looks like it.
Wow, so almost a little bit of a reverse from last match.
And 1 Hewitt. Probably the prime. Yeah, looks like the prime. RDL wants to go extreme long range.
Looks like WIE are also in for the range game. Just to avoid a little bit of confusion, guys, we've got 2 Brits on the channel, not just one. The other one, it's SJ Vahilio, coming along to just generally chat about the match and how things are going. But we do sound, according to other people, very alike, so I just thought I'd point that out. Yeah, I know, we don't sound anything like each other. He's a dirty southerner and I'm a dirty northerner, so... Or rather, awesome northerner, so most people can't tell the difference, so...
But yeah, it looks like I called it right when I guessed RDL will be using ballistics. A phenomenal number of light gauss there by the looks of it.
Oops, and they're starting strong by stepping on their Hewitt. But
That's right.
all seems to be okay.
Well, WIE are moving out and they are splitting.
And they're stepping on it again! Twice! Oh, 3 times! Poor Hewitt.
Well, it is worth remembering that if you stand on one of those tanks, they lose all acceleration. It takes a long time to build it up, so it's very annoying if you want to go in the tank.
Bit of a Hewitt skateboard then, by the looks of it.
It's not as bad as long toms. We used to have our long tom player furiously screaming at each other when we stepped on him going out for a match.
I wonder why.
Coming back to things on the ground, WIE, they've actually gone and split their forces up. They've sent the 3 Scat Cs north, I believe that is, onto the hilltops, whilst the Hewitt and the Siege Engine move out to the west.
We are seeing some of that more interesting play from RDL that I was talking about, people doing unconventional things, or they've just moved up a hill and onto the kind of mountains surrounding the map. So it does look like it's going to be nothing like a conventional match here.
They are slowly lugging that poor Hewitt up there. It is not fast.
Yeah, I'm surprised he has the acceleration to get up there.
Does anyone know if the sun rises from west to east on Extremity? Because I can't actually remember which side's on which.
I have no idea.
Well, anyway, WIE heavier assets moving towards the middle-ish, but keeping within range of their scats, which are perched on the ridgeline, moving forward slightly more towards the middle of the map.
I think we now can see why RDL want those 10 minutes. They seem to have set up camp on a hilltop to the side.
I think the sun does actually rise from the west, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I could be wrong.
Well, you know, it makes sense. That's how things are here.
Yeah, so why not the same on an asteroid millions of light years from Earth?
Where are RDL looking, by the way? Because at the moment they're looking the wrong way.
No, they're looking out to the center, towards the dishes.
That's really strange, because, like, 2 of them are looking the other way to me.
Yeah, you're a bit backwards in Britain.
Oh well. Must be the orientation thing just confusing the hell out of me.
You missed that comment about Britain, though.
Could be the concern about aero assets, and they're just trying to get a general 360-degree look around. But yeah, who knows?
Possibly. Right, WIE appear to have set up the camp. Okay, so...
Now we know why they wanted those extra minutes.
Tents are out, fires are lit. This is going to be a long match.
Shaping up to look rather like Red versus Blue, if anyone's seen that series.
I'm sure most people will have. Alright, so it's night time at the moment. So if there was any engagement, wouldn't have too many heat issues, but most of these mechs aren't fairly heat dependent anyway, so I don't think heat's going to be a problem for either side.
That could mean movement or just more camping, waiting for him to get in place.
Oh yeah, he's clambering back up, trying to get himself up into position as the sun comes up. Or the alarm goes off, rather, for the sun coming up.
Could see this precipitate some movement, with one side maybe feeling that they're favoured by the sunshine. However, my bet would be on a continuation of the camping situation.
I imagine at one point one of these horses will get bored and send a scout forward, but I mean, the fact of the matter is you have to take these things into account when you're making your list, you're making your strategies. You can't just expect the enemy to come blundering into this little perfect setup that you've made for yourself. You know, I mean, you've got to get out and get some intel. You've got to get out there and actually try and gain a situational advantage based on utilising the map for what it is. You can't, you know, racking up and sitting in a corner for an entire match and hoping that the enemy's just going to blunder into your gun sights. There's no way of playing the game, really.
We don't have an overabundance of actual scout units out here either, do we?
No, the Uzil Prime. Nope, no, that's a light Gauss one, so I don't know if that's got any sensors. I don't think it does.
No, it does not.
The scouts have BAP, but they're more than likely going to encounter things through visual than they are through radar.
Generally, when you see people using scats as scouting, it's not one scat. People just send a whole unit of them if they've got more than one. So that's a possibility, but both of these teams seem very keen on moving in large groups, so I shouldn't think we'll see any of that.
Okay, so let's try and evaluate these setups and how they're going to utilise the units that they've got at the moment. Okay, right, so WiE, they've spread their 3 scats out on top of these hills quite sufficiently. There's quite a lot of distance between each of them. Sick is actually advancing more towards Inner Sphere base at the moment, but no, hang on, no, he's coming back. He's taken a nice long path to climb back up the hill, so he's coming back, moving into position. But Phelan and Nathiel are perched on these hilltops, just holding out. The Hewitt, Kaz, looking out over the dishes, keeping an eye on the horizon lines that are present and open to him. And Grim Dealer appears to be watching the rear towards their own base. Maybe not the best placement for that asset. The ATMs and the UAC-5s, primarily long range. Those ATMs are going to need time to lock. He wants to be in a good position to intercept them as they're coming up, no matter where they come from. So he wants that max 750 range and to be able to see things before they get into it. But it doesn't matter now because they're moving out. They are moving towards IS base.
RDL is not moving. No, they are standing still. They have spread out a bit to better cover the ridge looking out over the dishes, but they are not moving. Movement is sexy.
Yes, I do like the way they've spread things out a little bit more as well. It's just a little bit more interesting. Who knows if it's combat effective, but it looks a bit more professional.
Being spread is an effective way to do things. You need those range mechs not to all be bunched up, because if you get rushed by brawlers, then if you've got things a little bit further away, you've got time to pull more range to utilise the advantage that those range weapons are giving you. I mean, if you're all sat in a clump and you get rushed by UAC-20s, it doesn't matter if you've been able to put a few shots on beforehand. If you can't drag the engagement out, you're going to lose. So to
or you
keep
could
you
get
guys...
hit by a long tom shell.
Well, that's right, you could get hit by a long tom shell on your way in and die in a horrible explosion. We've seen RDL do plenty of that.
Yeah,
Dying in explosions?
That.
Well, no, inflicting that upon others, if the last round of the tournament is anything to go by.
Oh yeah, that is true. But it seems that none of these teams have a big reputation for fielding long toms.
RDL are a big fan of artillery, though. Those Arrow 4s are a staple of their game plan, especially in public games. I've seen many of pubber complain about RDL and their arrow obsession.
Yeah, they don't use those arrows too often in league-style games. I think they used one arrow 4 setup against, was it DCK, I think, earlier in this tournament.
Yeah,
but I think that's about one of the few times I've seen them use them in league-style matches.
Yeah, it's strange. You see them using it in the pub games, and you almost feel like they're practicing with the one scout out and their numerous arrow units. But I've never had them use it against us in an actual clan match.
Maybe they just like blowing up pubbers with large missiles.
Who could blame them?
Well, it's a little bit mean, but I guess whatever gets you kicks.
Well, Captain Camper also likes corners, so...
It's aggressive camping, Murph. Aggressive camping.
If it was aggressive camping, you'd fight for the camping spot.
Do we have any aggressive camping from Wolf in Exile?
We do,
RDL
actually.
is definitely passively camping currently.
They are moving more around the map towards the IS bases. They may be aggressively camping the aero hangar within the next maybe 15 minutes if they keep going at the rate they're going at.
It's like watching a small group of nomads.
But they're playing it safe, and I can't blame them. They're down around. They want to get this one back. You know, it's 3 and out. Well, it's 3 and then win the other 2 for bragging rights or whatever. But they want this one in the bag so they can go into the next round confident at a 1-1 and try and pull things out of the. Well, out of a. You know, they don't want to be in a bad situation. So this victory is essential for them at this point. RDL, happy to play the camper game, happy to wait it out. They're quite comfortable with their 1-win lead at the moment. They've got no reason to rush on in there and play the aggressor. They're happy with where they're sat.
I wonder if either team has real-life time constraints. That could be a motivational factor to get this movie.
I was just wondering whether our Frapser has a big enough hard drive, but...
Might have
Yeah,
to
we have
tab
had
out
people...
and do some mid-game deleting if things things don't pick up.
Yeah, we have had people run out before, so it's a valid
Never-
concern, but we should be right.
Never ever cut a match. You can skip forward if you don't like to watch it.
Well, WiE are probably almost getting within weapon range now. That Hewitt slowly inching its way forwards. That engine on overdrive just poking up, and he could have visual any moment now. If he just looks up, checks those silhouettes, he's looking, he's seen
Yeah,
them, and
RDL
he's
has
been hit.
visual. RDL is opening fire. They're Hewitt, and we have light gas fire as well.
That Hewitt is getting pounded. His rear armour must be hurting because he exposed it for a long time.
Got the sun coming up now. That probably won't make a difference at this range when it's mostly UAC2s and Gauss rifles being fired. It should not really change anything.
Don't say that.
Right, let's see how the Wolves react to this situation. Obviously, RDL have the advantageous position. They've got the range. WiE currently do not have engagement range on them. They're moving the scats out towards IS base, towards the airfield, trying to get those PPCs and Gauss into range. Just waiting on each other at the moment, just making sure they're going in as a group. The Siege Engine and the Hewitt holding back, covering their
Yeah, the
rear.
RDL is pounding them. Or at least they're firing and can't see if they hit.
But yeah, the 2 support assets, so the Wolves moving up at the moment, obviously know that the scats have been spotted, so needing to get in and help their teammates out. Otherwise, this will all be for nothing, and we may see another RDL win.
Yeah, just going by the scoreboard, it doesn't look like WIE have actually done any damage yet. They're still